Hey folks, Liberty43 here with you, Ben, with another video. This knife, or video I would like to call it actually, is kind of two things. One is showing off a purchase that I just recently received, but also talking about something that some of the guys on USN and I have been talking about it for a while, and that's called buying the maker. And I'll get into that in a moment. First, little patch here. This is really cool. This is something, morale patch from the USN, glows in the dark, very cool. I think it comes in two colors, green and brown. If you get a chance to pick one of those up, I just had it kind of floating around. Thought I kind of went with the knife, so I thought I'd throw it in there into the shot. So first, a little story about this. This is a Dervish Alchemy XL. And it's one of those knives I never ever thought I would own. I PM'd John about this, and we talked about how many there are out there. He said he's probably made about 6, but his few is about 4. He's not really sure at the time of this one. The way I came about it, I happened to be searching on the trade section of the Cove, saw one for sale, shot the guy PM. He and I went back and forth. He was thinking he might trade it, and then it went through that he decided to sell it to me. So I sold a couple of things, scraped the money together, and was able to score this. When it came in, there was an issue that I kind of noticed with the clip. It was a little bit kind of off, and I wasn't really sure. So I sent the guy an email or PM. I said, hey, I'm not really sure about that. He wasn't sure either. But I sent a PM off to John Gonzalez, and he said, yeah, that's definitely not what the clip is supposed to look like. So he said, go ahead, pack it up, send it to me in Colorado. I'll fix it and get it right back to you ASAP. Well, long and short is, he fixed it. He fixed the detent a little bit. He kind of did a little bit of touch up all over the place in terms of making it work better. And he said, yeah, it looks like somebody took the clip off and it was kind of tweaked. He fixed it very quickly and got it back to me. And the point I'm trying to make is, besides showing the knife in a second here, is the service that John provided. It's one of those things where it's hard to put down in writing or words, but some folks and I in the USN, we call it, buying the maker, where, yeah, the knives are fantastic, and there are plenty of great knife makers out there, both production and custom. But part of it is, what is the service that you might expect after you receive the knife? John went above and beyond with the service for this, and it's one of those things that a few guys on the USN and I have talked about, like Balance and Rooster FMJ and Automatic, where there are makers who provide such excellent customer service. You want to get their knives and hang on to them, not only because their knives are awesome, but because they're awesome people and they have awesome customer service. And there's so many of those guys out there, and so many of them on the USN, it's just incredible. I cannot say that I've had experience with a ton of different knife makers, but certainly the ones that I've actually met in person have been great. People like Mr. Emerson, Ernie Emerson, and of course Ray Laconico, and of course people like John Gonzalez, who I've not met in person, but I've PM'd back and forth with a bunch of times. Other people in the biz as well, like Les George. Guys who get right back to you, answer your questions. It's amazing. And I know these guys are busy as all get up, but it's really cool because a lot of times it's like 30-second question, and it just makes your whole day. It makes everything go smooth. It's just awesome. So, John, thank you so much for taking care of this knife. It is just a fantastic piece. I also want to talk about this. John Gage did another run of Dervish beads. He had the large skulls, which were pretty much too large to put on any kind of a lanyard. I'm sorry, my lanyard making is kind of hokey, but this bead is really cool. So I do want to give a shout out to John Gage, who made another one of my favorite beads, which is the Crusader bead. I love that as well. This piece is just super cool. And now on to the knife. This knife, it definitely wasn't an inexpensive knife, but it's gone in my pocket already. And as Ray would say, it has a nice key washed finish. I have that policy. It is true to my word. It's NSQ, no safe queens. If it's not going to be used, I'm going to sell it, because I'd like to carry my knives, and the knives are meant to be used. This piece is amazing. CPM 154 for the blade. The overall is just over 9 inches. The blade is 4 inches. You've got the titanium here, lightning strike carbon fiber, and the piece is just every bit as good as you would expect from John Gonzalez. I mean, the Dervish knife is excellent. I always thought this just looks so cool, this kind of tribal touch here, just with the little, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's just, I'm kind of flabbergasted. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words here. But, you know, where you can see the flipper, it just looks like it's got that tribal look to it, and it's super cool. Fit and finish are just phenomenal. You know, he adjusted the detent, and if you're not used to it, you know, it is a very short little flipper tab here. But once you get the hang of it, it just launches right out, and it is a big knife. I mean, this is not small, and yet in the hand, because it's such a thin handle, it really does conform very nicely, and it rides in the pocket extremely low. That's one of John's, I'm assuming it's kind of one of John's signatures. You know, he has that mid-tech Navajo, and the one that I have is it's one of the green versions from Tad, and the pocket clip was great. I ended up selling that one because I got this one. And yet there's still some of me, I want another one. I want one of those Navajos. I'd like to get one that's probably got a textured black or textured green, because his knives are so cool. And like I said, buying the maker is part of it. Excellent backspacer in titanium as well. It's got a great heft to it, but the knife itself is just phenomenal. And like I said, the bead really helps it as well. You know, pull it out of the pocket. It gives you a nice little grip there. But you can see, beautiful knife. Want to show that off. There you go, show off his mark there. Nice kind of mirror edge. Great grind lines. See if I can't rotate that a little bit. Nice simple jimping there, which really gives some, I guess the term is good purchase, but I would use the term, you know, non-slip or good grip. I guess purchase is the correct term though. I never, like I said, I never thought I'd own an Alchemy, let alone an XL, which is something I really wanted. But when it happened to come up, I knew I had to sell some other items and get a Grailier Grail. But there you go, nice key wash finish there already. So John, thank you very much. It's definitely getting used, and it's definitely been in the pocket. And it'll be nice to carry it this weekend. Now that the weekend's here, I can carry the big boy knives since I'm not at school. But anyway, I just wanted to share that all with you. Thank you for watching. Take care. Keep the shiny side up. And be safe. Cheers.